problem, the first thing you have to do is to identify what is the input, what is the output. What is the input, what is the output. That is the first thing you do. Read carefully. When I say read carefully, I have seen n number of people who wrote the program to print prime numbers below a given number when the question asked was print n prime numbers. Print the first n prime numbers. The people wrote the program for printing prime numbers below n. Why? Because they have done that in the lab. They don't even look at the question carefully. The question given was print the first n prime numbers, first 15 prime numbers. But they wrote a program to print prime numbers below 15. Okay, that was what was done in the lab. So before even reading it, oh, prime numbers. Understood? Read carefully. Read the problem carefully. And what do you do after that? Identify the inputs. What is given? What is asked? These are the first two things that you write down. Understand? After that, now comes the question about how do I transform these given inputs to the required outputs? How do I transform these given inputs to the required outputs? That is where your algorithms come into picture. That is where your algorithms come into picture. For example, we'll take those examples. First, let's understand this. Okay, read very carefully. What is the objective of reading carefully? Three things. Identifying the inputs, what is given, identifying the outputs, what is asked, and then is there any possibility of transforming the given inputs to the required outputs? Suppose I give you a kg of atta and then say produce a BMW car. You can't do that. Right? You can't do that. Sometimes it happens. Some tricky questions will be there. They'll give you insufficient data and say do this. Then you should say insufficient data. Understand? So for that reason, you have to read the problem carefully. Understand? Don't assume anything. Don't assume anything. Suppose I ask a question. How much time does it take for me to travel from Nasraupet to Hyderabad? What's the answer? A lot of things. You have assumed a lot of things. Did I say car? Did I say train? Did I say taxi? Did I say cycle? Did I say walk? Now you have assumed. You understood? You understood? Don't assume anything. Your assumptions may be wrong. By the way, assume means you know what it is. What is the spelling of assume? Assume means to make an ass of you and me. Okay, that is what assume. Don't assume. You understand? Because if you assume what the other guy assumed is not the same as what you assume, then the solution is wrong. So you will ask questions like, how do you want it? You understand? I asked what is the question? How long does it take to go from Nasraupet to Hyderabad? And you all said 4.5 hours, 5 hours. You never asked me the questions, relevant questions. Sir, how do you want to go? When do you want to go? Suppose it's early morning, you can uncar. Okay, then it might take 4 hours only because there is no traffic. But suppose it's afternoon, Hyderabad, getting out of Hyderabad itself is 4 hours. You understand? So you have to ask relevant questions. Am I audible there? Yeah. Am I clear? Yeah. Please ask questions. This is an informative session. Okay? And interactive session. You have to ask questions. Please keep asking questions, okay? Right. So, read carefully. Is there sufficient information to transform the given inputs to the required outputs? Is there or not? Okay? So, the basic objective of this step is to establish the inputs, establish the outputs, and to make sure that the inputs are sufficient enough to get the required output. Is that clear? Yes or no? Yes. Then, example. Then you give yourself some examples. You work out your own, you give some inputs and see whether the outputs will come or not. Okay. With examples you make much more clearer in your mind. Examples will make the problem much more clearer in your mind. Understand? So, examples. Draw an example. Brute force. Now, try to get an algorithm which transforms the given inputs to the required outputs. Okay? Try to get it. Algorithm. Alright. Right. And then, after that, optimize the algorithm. We see what is but. But means identify the bottlenecks, identify the unnecessary work, and identify the duplicate. Okay, we will see some examples, we will see how that works. Optimize, time versus space trade-offs. BIGO. How many of you know BIGO? Has it been told? What is the BIGO notation? What is time complexity and what is space complexity? Okay? So, anyway, don't worry. It's okay. I'll try to give you some sort of concept on how what is BIGO also. In time goes. Silence, please. In my lectures, I have 3 rules. The first rule is either you talk or I talk. Okay? If you want to talk, raise your hand. I'll give you opportunity to talk. But if you don't raise your hand, you can't open your mouth. Okay? Right. That's the first rule. The second rule is only English. No Telugu. Not because I don't know Telugu. I know Telugu better than you guys. But why English? Because you have to express yourself in English in the interviews. So to make it practice. Right? The third is, of course there are no breaks now, so there is no break. When I say break of 10 minutes, it is 10 minutes, not 10 minutes, 1 second. Alright, these are my 3 rules in my classes. Wherever I go, I take 5 days, 10 days courses also. So wherever I go, I make these 3 rules. After the break is over, I close the doors. And they can't come. The first day they try, the second day they will. Understand? Okay, right. Anyway, so please don't talk. If you want to talk, raise your hand. I'll answer your questions. Absolutely, no problem. Right. Example, brute force method and optimization. But means what? What is but? I told you just now, nobody listened. PUD. Identify. P means bottlenecks. Identify bottlenecks. Which is the bottleneck which is consuming too much time? Okay, or too much space? We'll come with examples. Okay? Identify bottlenecks in your algorithm. Identify unnecessary work.